Hi guys, this is Forza Meyya. So it's good to be back to see all of you again in my another video. So this time I thought of giving or speaking about something which is a bit more informative, which is relevant for today's world, right? Especially in this current situation here. So those days when you want to go to the market or groceries, you obviously tend to bring cash, right? And even when you have credit cards, when you want to repay, you tend to withdraw from one bank and you tend to pay to another bank, which is your credit card bank, right? So because you may have two separate accounts, one for credit card account, one for your savings account or current account, so you have to go and withdraw the cash. So even those days when I used to have initially my credit cards, I had from a different bank, and what happened was I had to withdraw from my savings account and carry the cash and go to my credit card account bank and deposit over there. Obviously it's all through machines, but nevertheless there's always a risk. And sometimes when you tend to go for groceries and stuff, you have a tendency of having cash and having balances, some changes, and sometimes it may drop along the way. So you may lose it, or even during your school days it happens, right? So when you bring cash and sometimes it just falls along the way, right? So you may misplace it or miss it. So that can happen. And of course after that the era changed where you have credit cards and debit cards. So people has reduced using cash, right? So they had more tendency to use cards and debit cards and credit cards. So obviously for corporates they have this checkbook, so there's no much of a cash involvement. So obviously this cash is obviously precious because that is one of the most and easily liquid based assets. Alright. So when I say liquid based asset, it means it can be easily transferred into some other assets, or it easily can be convertible into some other products. Alright, so you just use the cash, you can buy foods, you can buy drinks, you can buy some products, alright, or pay for some services. So it's very much easily convertible product or asset to some other products or services. So in today's world, or even the last 3 years, I would say, the era has been changing or evolving, right? So people has been going into e-wallets. Okay, so those days you had hardcore cash, you still have it, and then the time changed where you used credit cards and debit cards, which is still in use now. And apart from that, people were also transferring money, from one account to another account. Right, so that's still going on, right? And now the latest trend is using e-wallet, right? So here I am actually to say what are the benefits of using e-wallets, which is definitely going to be one of the major player in coming years, right? Those days people were worried, should I use e-wallet, right? Because I can't see the cash itself, but now that is the trend and that is the in thing for today's world, right? So let me say what are the reasons why you should use e-wallet. So the reason number one why you should use e-wallet is, as I said, those days when you want to pay your credit cards or when you want to pay your bills, you tend to withdraw money from one bank and go to another bank or go to a supplier or a service provider to pay that cash. It means you are having so much amount of cash. Imagine in Ringgit Malaysia you are having 4,000 ringgit or 5,000 ringgit, right? Or even US dollars, you have 1,000, 2,000 US dollars having in your wallet, and your wallet is so thick and you keep it in your pocket, right? So it's definitely a risk, right? A dangerous. So what happened along the way, something bad happens. So obviously using e-wallet is very much convenient and easy because the e-wallet is phone based. You just need to use your phone, go to scan the code. Either you scan the code or get them to scan your barcode, right? And automatically the money gets transferred, right? So that is one of the easy way. And you may wonder, how do I top up these balances? It's very easy. You can just connect this e-wallet to your credit card account or to your bank account. So every time when it goes below your threshold, it gets top up. So let's say your minimum threshold is 10 ringgit. So at any time when it goes below 10 ringgit, it gets top up. You can fix even the top up amount, either 100 ringgit, 200 ringgit or 500 ringgit. It's up to you, right? So you can do that. So whenever it goes below your threshold, you can top it up. Or if you feel you're going to spend more today, all right, and your balance is less, you can always check your balance first through your phone, and you can always top it up. Top up another 500 ringgit or 1000 ringgit. It's up to you. Depends on what's your budget going to be for that particular day's purchase. Alright, so obviously it's very much easy. It means you can avoid your hardcore cash itself. My second reason why you should use e-wallet is e-wallet enables you to track your expense. Imagine in traditional way, you have this tendency, or even myself, I used to have this tendency of using the small 555 book, or in Malay they call a buku 35, right? Where every day when you spend, you tend to write down, right? So you write it down, all your expenditures. And then after times evolve, you tend to use these spreadsheets, Excel sheets or Google sheets, something like that. So you tend to use these spreadsheets, okay, so to actually monitor your expenditures. But now with this e-wallet, you can just go back to e-wallet and check how much did I spend today, right? Or how much did I spend yesterday, or which restaurants or which stores did I go, all right? So at least it's easily being monitored, or you can even track your expenditures, right? Because sometimes you may feel, I just got my salary yesterday, but even by 1 week, I already got my all my monies were spent. I don't know where did I spend all my money, right? So what you can do is through this e-wallet, you can actually track where did you spend and what amount you spent, and apart from that, you can actually recall what did you spend on. So it's very convenient for you to actually track your expenditures. The third reason why I always recommend e-wallet is e-wallet is where when you want to pay, you just show your phone. The cashier will actually scan the barcode. Or another way is you scan the barcode which is provided by the convenience store, okay, or the merchandise, right? So when you scan, you key in the amount that you want to pay, right, with your passwords, and then you just show the amount has been paid or transferred. You just show the evidence, right, through your phone. So it's just through your phone itself, and the particular person will just jot down, either they just jot down the transaction code, or from their side they will check their system whether their money has been deposited or came through. Alright, so it means you are avoiding human touch in this transaction. On a traditional way, what you do is, let's say you spend 20 ringgit, or let's say the price is 12 ringgit, you give 20 ringgit, right? And the merchandiser, the cashier, gives you back 8 ringgit. What if that 8 ringgit contains viruses, especially in today's situation, when you have this pandemic, because the pandemic can also be transferred through this kind of situations, right? So that kind of a pandemic or the virus can be transferred to you. So to avoid all this, obviously you could have sanitized yourself, when you go in, but you don't know what's the situation of those cash or the cashiers, right, handling those cash. So there's still a risk. So this is where when you use e-wallet, you will reduce the risk of having those viruses or pandemic being transferred to you, right? And at the same time, let's say you hold the cash, you go to another place, alright, you tend to transfer those cashes, or you tend to go to the shops and you give those cashes, alright. So when you give those cash to those merchandisers, the money when they touch, they can also get transferred, alright, or get affected or impacted. So just to avoid all this cycle, right, they always say let's cut off this chain or block this pandemic chain, right? So this is one way how you can stop the chain, by using e-wallet. So nowadays, if you go to a lot of supermarkets, right, Tesco, Giant, Hero, right, Grocer, so this, even Speedmart, they use e-wallet, right, or even 7-Eleven, they use e-wallet. So it's very convenient, so you don't really need to carry so much cash, right? So from here you can actually block that chain or the virus chain, or stop it, right? Or one way for you are also safer. The fourth tips or the reason why I say you should use e-wallet is when you give cash and the shopkeeper or the cashier receives the cash, he may not record it. When he doesn't record it, it doesn't goes to their sales book. Alright, so it means on their yearly income, they won't record it. It means that money becomes like a black money, alright, or unrecorded sales. So to avoid this kind of thing to happen, using e-wallet, it will definitely ensure that that income or sales is recorded. It definitely has to be recorded because you are paying through a e-wallet, and the e-wallet service provider knows what is the cash or the sales transaction, and that guy will actually pay back to the merchandiser or the shop or the restaurant or whichever supermarket with obviously by deducting their service charges and stuff. So they will pay back. So when they pay back, obviously things are all recorded. Alright, so there is a flow here. So this actually avoids from the merchandise or the restaurant, okay, to actually eliminating the unrecorded sales, and indirectly also avoids black money. Alright, so this is a good way for things to be making it all in a smooth transaction. Obviously in China, some of the well-known countries, even grocery shops, even the fresh markets, in Malaysia you call it Pasar Malam, Pasar Pagi, the morning market, the night market, right? Even those kind of markets, they started using e-wallets. Alright, so in Malaysia it's still developing. Alright, we already have merchandisers, like restaurants, we already have supermarkets already using this grocery. So we step by step, we really hope. Even the other day when I went for a night market, there are certain food stalls, they started using e-wallet. Right, so hopefully it's still growing. So hopefully by the next 3 years or 5 years, we can see this evolving and full-fledged people are started to use e-wallet itself. Alright, so even those days you only had a touch and go e-wallet, but now you have a lot of e-wallets. You have Grab Pay, you have a Food Panda Pay, you have AliExpress or Alipay. Alright, so you have a lot of merchandisers or merchants coming in, e-wallet merchants coming in. So it's evolving in Malaysia. So it's good to see people, especially the millennials, Gen Ys, are using it. Right, so it's something that in future it is in need. So everyone who has a smartphone, it's advisable for you to install one of these e-wallets. It's very much convenient. Obviously at the beginning you may feel it's a bit inconvenient, right? But it's just a short term. For a long term, it's definitely beneficial, right? Especially you don't really need to carry so much cash anymore. So there won't be risk of pickpocketing. Those days you tend to have pickpocketing, right? So nowadays even buses are using cards, prepaid cards, alright? So it's convenient, so people are avoiding hard cash. So it's time for you to even I've even seen vending machines, alright, where you tend to put coins to get your drink. Now you just use your card or e-wallets to actually pay for your drinks or for whatever snacks you buy through the vending machine. So it's convenient, alright. So it's definitely something which is, I would say, it's transparent, it's convenient, and it's safe. So ladies and gentlemen, I strongly urge all of you to install these e-wallets, any e-wallets, because I'm not representing any e-wallet company or merchandisers. So just install one of these e-wallets, you will definitely see the perks. And sometimes these e-wallet merchandisers also giving you cashbacks, instant cashbacks. Alright, so even at the petrol kiosk a few weeks ago when I went, I refueled my vehicle. So I paid through e-wallets. So e-wallets are convenient. So ladies and gentlemen, it's time for you to also embrace this experience using e-wallets. So till then, thank you very much for watching my video. I shall see you in my next video soon. Take care.